Alright, you guys, so I'm here at my Corvette workshop. I'm just going to do a quick little rundown again for new subscribers on how they can install a custom interior here on their new Corvette. So just come to your base, and you got to make sure that you're on base editing. Now you see the text box on the right side of my screen. Now at the bottom of that text box, underneath all the information for the alloy wall in the orange bar, it says editing your ship's name. If you push the start button, it switches to editing your base name. You see that? You can cycle between base, and then when it red states here, it switches to Corvette. Now that's because any base part cannot technically be installed on a Corvette. So every time a base part touches your Corvette, it's going to switch you back to Corvette. So the way we get around that is you start on the base terrain, switch to base, and place the part. Okay? So now you see this base part is right here at the very edge of our ramp. Okay? So now, hovering over the base piece, you can open the build menu, and it brought up the Corvette menu. So you just push start, back out, and then press start, and it should put you on the base building menu. So now that allows us to do this. We can snap. And you see, now that floor module piece is inside the Corvette. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go like this. We're going to place another wall, and see that wall is right inside our Corvette. Okay, now this is part of the reason why I like to use the dual access ramp. I find it makes it much easier for me to get into the Corvette after I block the entrance off with a wall like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try to back ourselves up this ladder. Just get up the ladder in the first place. You highlight the wall. See, it did it again. So you just back out and push start, and it should bring up our base building menu again. Okay. Now you can switch into free place mode. Now because that wall is right there, right? Now this floor panel is clipping through the wall panel. Do you see that? So it green states. If I bring it up here, it won't let us play. It won't let us place it. So you just want to place it down there. Bring it as high as you can, and place it again. Okay. And now we're going to switch to the small alloy panel. And the trick to this is we want to bring this up through the floor, so this alloy panel is covering the hole, right? So you just keep free placing them on top of each other until they come up through the floor. That's all I'm doing here. I just place until they're going to be above. Okay, so you see that? We're going to put one more. Try to get a better view here. Now I'm going to put this one so it's just to the edge of this, like this, right? Now I'm going to delete this one. So this one here is the one that we're going to work with. Okay. Now that's covering the total. That's totally covering the ladder access, which is what we want. That's pretty much right in the middle of the Corvette now. Now we switch back into snap mode, and this is going to be difficult because it's going to try to attach to all of the pieces below. Okay, there we go. So now we have those placed. Now we're going to delete this middle one. Now you see that leaves exposed. And now we can delete all of these. We don't need them anymore. We've successfully built our way up into the Corvette. Okay. Now, these are a little too high for my liking, so now we have to play around with this. See, bring it down past, very slowly, very carefully. Just bring it down as low as you can bring it before it goes red, and place it. And now you see we're just above the floor here. That's how we kind of want it. And that's just on the other side of the opening for the stair. So I'm happy with that. We have to do the same thing on this side. Well, I guess we don't. We'll delete that one. We'll go back in snap placement. We'll snap it there. Back into free place. Try to line it up the best you can. And we'll get rid of the middle one. Okay. So now we should be free. Go back into snap place, and we can place floor panels right through the entire Corvette now. As far forward as we want to go. Oh, that's no good. Okay, so now we have a floor all the way through our Corvette. Oh, yeah, I don't know about these ones here. We'll place them and then go outside and see if they're poking through the thruster on the back or not. Okay, so now that we have our floor, we can go and we can check. You see, they're right here below the thruster, so that's not too bad. They're still hidden underneath the cowling. You can see them there, but nobody's going to notice that, so that's good. Alright, so that's how I do the floor. Okay, now for walls. Because these walls, this one looks higher, and we're just going to have to deal with it like that because of the gap. They don't line up. They don't match up with the ones on either side of them. So because these floor panels go into the wall, you don't want that, right? So now you have to go back into free place mode. And what we're going to do is we're going to just try to get it nice and straight, and we're going to position it Okay. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Here. Now, you can use whatever walls you wish. I like to use the alloy walls because it's just my preference. But you can use any of them that you want. Now, the reason I like to use the alloy walls is because they color nicely. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You see this panel. If I place this here, you'll see that this panel is like, because I got a not blue stated, it's like a white and orange. You see that? So you want to hold the panel, the wall panel, and press X. Oh, hang on. Delete that one. Okay, so now we have the fresh panel out of the build menu. Press X. Now hover over the flat panel, push the select button, and choose your color. And I like the gray and red. Now back out of that menu and press X again, and it's going to bring up our alloy panel here, except now it's gray and red instead of white and orange. You see that? That's not going to let me place that because that's beyond the Starship. So let's place one. Uh-oh, I think I lost that one in the wall. That's okay. When we fly away, it'll disappear. There. And now you can remove these floor panels. We don't need them anymore. So, I don't know about getting too carried away going all the way back there like that. So, choose the thin one and do the same thing. Choose the color you want. Back out, push X, and it'll bring it back. Color swap. We lost a little space there, but I don't really care about that too much. You don't have to do this back area if you don't wish either, so I just like everything to look uniform. I can't get that one to line up. It's there somewhere, you just have to fish around and find the right snap point. There it is. Alright, so now you have your walls and your floor. Okay? So we don't really have any options for roof panels, so I have something else that I do for that. But anyway. careful when deleting stuff in here. We have to set all this stuff in place. It's just in here as a base right now, okay? So after we place all of our items, we have to go around and place all this stuff again. I mean, we can place the walls now, I suppose, but you have to leave the floor panels until the end. So the way you set this in place is you pick it up, you make sure it stays green stated where you want it, and now you're going to push the start and right trigger button at the same time. And it should place. Now, this is the thing they changed in the patch. It used to just place, and now it turns red like that instead. So you have to fiddle around with it, and you have to get the proper timing. And you see I just did it there. So, you see I try to pick it up again. It says core infrastructure can only be modified at the Corvette workshop. That's how you know you did that correctly. So now we just go to the next piece. Try to pick it up, not move it. And if you move it, try to put it back in place and place it. And that didn't take. Oh yeah, this is a pain in the ass. Now, before the patch, it wasn't such a big deal. Okay, so that one's done. Of course, it moved. So yeah, like I said, this new timing is odd. And it's going to appear like it doesn't work anymore because, you know, that's what everybody assumes because they can't get it to work in a few tries and it doesn't work. But it does. You just have to keep trying, and eventually you'll just hit it by mistake properly and you'll see that it works, right? And I guess you kind of have to see it for yourself to believe it, right? So, but I wouldn't be posting these videos wasting your guys' time if it didn't work. So I'm telling you it works, it works. I know I'm a stranger and nobody wants to take my word for it, but you're watching me do it literally, so. When I first learned how to do this, I was the same way. The person that kind of told me about how to do this, I was skeptical. And then I went and I tried it for myself, and I couldn't get it to work for the longest time. And then I just by fluke placed my teleporter, and it was actually Saya Sama, other content creator. He had a video out months ago about how to put a teleporter into your Corvette. And that video is that was the gateway for me. That opened up a world of possibilities. I struggled with it to get my first teleporter in my Corvette, and then once I got the teleporter in the Corvette, I was like, wow, if I can put a teleporter in here, what else can I put in here? And I just started trying to put everything in the Corvette. So big shout out to Sayasama for that. Alright, so now this is the pain in the ass, and I posted a short last night about these items: your nutrient processor, tiny aquarium, your antimatter reactor, your large refiner, your medium refiner, and your galactic trade terminal. Now, because the glitch building is so problematic now, what I've done here is I've shrunk these down, and now that I have these shrunk down, they're just going to sit there. I'm not touching them. I'm not using these to put in a Corvette. All I'm doing with these is duplicating them, and then I'm going to install them in the Corvette. Okay, so those ones are always going to sit there now. I'm not going to fight with trying to scale them down any longer. The things that you have to scale down all the time are still going to be your teleporter and your storage containers, because you can only have one of those per base. So you can't have them sitting there and then duplicate one, which is unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. So see, I can just duplicate and duplicate off of these. That's why I said I'll just leave those ones down there, and then I don't have to worry about it. Now the way I'm going to do this, okay, I want these up on a table. I'm just going to use one of these short walls, right? And you're going to put it just anywhere here. We'll place it here. And now we'll take a small floor panel. We'll place them above the floor, right? Excuse me. Okay, so now we can delete that. We've got our floor panels in place. And now these are the same thing, same way. Bring these up so they're sitting on this panel. Now, I just like to place mine nice before I set them in place, and I sink them into the wall too to save room, right, as much as you can. And like I said before, you get too far, it's going to red state because it's touching part of the actual Corvette because you're phasing through the wall so much. And now we'll go and we'll grab the large refiner. Put one here. And we'll put one here. And we'll grab the medium refiner. Alright, so once you have these placed, it's the same thing. You just hover back over top of them, and then they're going to jump out of position on you again, so just put them back, and then it's the same thing. Start with your right trigger, and if you can't pick it up again, then you get the message core infrastructure can only be modified at the Corvette workshop. That means it's set into place for good. That piece is now part of the Corvette. Now, I do dare say that some items are placed easier now than others. Like these, the timing seems like it's the same as it was before the patch. Either that or I'm just getting used to the new timing now. I'm not really sure, but I haven't struggled to place any of these. So, oh, spoke too soon. There we go. All right. So now that we have that wall done, we can copy these. I don't know. I was afraid of that. See, this is what happens when you don't build the ship far enough back on the pad. It won't let us build into the cockpit now, which is fine. I like to usually put my trade terminal and my teleporter in the cockpit, but I can't this time, so it's not the end of the world. We'll just have to put it here. So now we can delete these ones. And now I'm going to try to shrink a teleporter. Now, if you saw the short, this is what I'm talking about. This is the item that I use to scale everything that goes in the Corvette, other than the planetary scanner. For the planetary scanner, I use these shrunken heads. You guys won't be able to get these. I got these off of a friend that has Blender, and he can scale everything down real far. So, same as all these big giant cups, I can scale things to all sorts of crazy sizes. Actually, this cup here, this will scale stuff so big that it reaches space. Like, it's pretty ridiculous. I'm not really sure what I can use that for, but I'm going to figure it out. But anyway, getting off topic because, you know, autism. Anyway, I'm going to just take these. These are just the, what are these? The illuminated pot, okay? You want to scale this item all the way down. And then place it on the table. And then just place a whole bunch of them. Okay? Like, have a bunch on hand, and then when you start getting down to only a few left, do it again. Now, I don't know, for whatever reason, before, do I have a teleporter here? No. Okay, so before we used to be able to cache pin this, X and Y, disappears, and we could duplicate the item. And then hit triangle or Y and right trigger. Okay, it worked for me this time. But the other day it wasn't working for me. But it did seem like if I chose the teleporter and then just picked one of these up and placed it, it would work better. For whatever reason, I got that one on the first try, which is pretty sus. gonna stick my teleporter here. And it's part of the Corvette now. I'll grab the trade terminal. I'm going to sink this into the wall as far as I can. I just think it's ugly. Didn't take. There we go. And we'll take one of these. Now the thing with this is an oddity. Okay? You cannot shrink this inside your Corvette. Like if you were not at your base and you're just standing in your Corvette trying to scale this, you can try to scale this thing all day and it won't scale. But for whatever reason, you can shrink it or enlarge it at your base, right? But because that item is in your Corvette's decorations tab, that is considered a base part or a Corvette part. So we can scale that down. And now we can place that scaled down item into the Corvette anytime. We don't even have to glitch that into the Corvette. We can just take that and put it in the Corvette at the end. So the only thing left to put in now are the storage containers. So hopefully I'm not going to struggle bust this whole thing and it takes all day to get these done. So I'm not duplicating like you saw, I'm just picking the ones up that I have on the table. And that one didn't work. And that one didn't work either. It's really too bad that you can't just have these done once like everything else and leave them here. It's not like there's 10 of them or anything. Boy, oh boy. Well, let's just try to duplicate. What happened? Again. Nope. Oh, okay. That didn't work. It was going so well until now. My goodness. Alright, well that was fairly painful, but it's over now, so... Like I said before, it's really too bad that you're only allowed to have one of each of these at your base. Really do without having to go through that every time you want to place these. crooked. Now that I'm happy with the position of these, go back, place them the same way with start and the right trigger until you get the message. There it is. Just a timing thing. Sometimes I can get it to work. Sometimes I cannot. There it is. So now we'll choose a short wall. Make sure you're in snap placement. Try to attach it to the short wall. There we go. And now you see it's too low, so all we're going to do is switch to free placement. Like this. Place another wall. We'll place another wall. And we'll place one more. We'll delete all the ones that we're not going to use. Try to get it to connect. There we go. There we go. pretty good. That's pretty good. Oof. There we go. Alright, well, we'll set these in place. What the fuck? Oh yeah, that's nice of the game to do that to me, huh? Now it's gone. Fucking fantastic. Number is that? 8. All right. Well, guys, that's pretty much it. So once you get to this point, oh, no, you have to go back around and place all these floor panels in place the same way we placed everything else. Because if you don't do that, when you fly away, they'll just all stay behind. All right. So we're good that way. Now we make our way back the other direction. Second try. Getting better. Alright guys, there you go. Now you can just go around and you can put whatever else you want in the Corvette. Tables, shelves, whatever. Thanks for checking out the video, guys.